Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome into your daily read. We're going to talk about Wednesday, so let's jump right into it. Let's do some shuffling. To begin for Wednesday. Okay, the Queen of Cups. Let's pull a couple more. The Page of Cups and the King of Wands. All right, so it feels like there's a bold but flowing way about how you accomplish things, how you communicate, and how you reach for a dream. All right. I also feel like you're guiding yourself towards more, however that looks for you. There's a feeling of when things don't feel within your control, or when things feel a little bit uncertain, not so figured out, or just a little bit confusing, and need to put your hands up like this imagery shows and flow with the fact that things are meant to work out for you. And I feel like there's also a reminder throughout this day to keep your crown on, regardless of who tries to mess with you, what doesn't feel perfect, or what when it comes to whatever you're working on individually, on a soul level, on a core level. But it feels like there's a strong vibe about how you're willing to do what it takes. And I feel like this day shows evidence that you have the courage to make changes, to leap towards more, to not settle all the meanwhile. Even if you haven't seen yourself take action in that sense recently, you have that courage, that boldness within you. And I feel like you're going to be pushed to make a decision throughout this day, even if it's not like that per se. There's a decision of importance being made throughout this day so you can move in the right direction. All right. But I feel like there's also a reminder when something works out for you throughout this day, even if it feels a little bit rocky in the decision making process, or in general, it feels like you're going to be reminded this is why certain other doors didn't fully or at all open, or this is why that door had to shut, right? This is why things come and go as they're meant to, or just don't come at all. But let's keep pulling. What else do we have for Wednesday? I feel like when you're putting in work towards something of importance, there's something that feels a bit negative in regards to it, or just maybe disturbing you or that situation. And I feel like all the meanwhile spirit's saying, let's take the pros with the cons, the positives with the negatives, and recognize when one outweighs the other, right? Now, naturally, if something happens to feel like the negatives are outweighing the positives at this time, or just in general, then it's not the situation for you to continue moving forward at a certain point, or to even jump into it all. But it feels like in this case, the positives are absolutely more so bolded, is what I'm hearing, being very much highlighted as the better of the two and worth it all the meanwhile. But I also feel like you're celebrating the fact that there's a new passionate beginning that lies quite on the horizon. And I feel like your mind is going to be on fire throughout this day, whether you realize it at certain points or not, whether you want it or not. And I feel like this has a lot to do with spirit for some. You're overthinking potentially, maybe both. It could be you just kind of bouncing around to the potentials of what's at hand, what you have moving forward potentially, thinking about what you've left behind, and spirit saying do not regret, do not second guess, and do I want to say don't overthink, but it feels like the majority of which drawn to the reading will. So just allow for yourself to slowly slip right out of that state of thinking and just simplify however you know best for you. But spirit's saying you deserve to live a life, have a path where there's good vibes, right? And so judgment is important, right, to an extent, in a healthy dose or doses. But allowing yourself to judge that person, place, or situation, whether you have them at hand currently or it's a potential for the future. And would this bring you good vibes? Would this bring you that peace and allow for you to succeed? And apply the questions to that situation as you may, but you get the point. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a day where you are gaining knowledge, better information, better clarity on what lies ahead, on why something didn't work out maybe, or why something is a good fit for you. And I sense that spirit's guiding you quite productively, all right? And it's it might shock some people because you've maybe received certain levels of spiritual misguidance or messing with. But I feel like all the meanwhile, the guidance coming through throughout this day is very much beneficial. Even if in a moment where you feel like it's quite random what they're saying to you or showing you, or whatever the case may be, and then you find out later in that day or maybe in the upcoming days that it was actually very much an important and helpful piece of guidance and communication all the meanwhile. But yeah, you're weighing out the pros, the cons, once again, the options, and maybe even balancing things out for yourself. And Spirit's saying it's also a day that's preparing you to make more decisions moving forward, but to balance out what feels like more on your plate than you have currently. All right. But every stage has its, they're saying productivity and lack thereof which, or busyness and lack thereof which, or somewhere in between. That's ideal for that chapter. All right. For whatever reason. Say, for example, you're within a chapter currently where you have less going on than you normally would, or you're meant to moving forward. Maybe you need to heal more. Maybe you need a break, right? And then Spirit's saying when things pick up moving forward, if that's the case for you, you're now ready to do so, right? You're even more so motivated to take on, to tackle whatever's at hand. But it feels like you're gaining justice for a change you made recently. Could be in regards to you reaching for more, could be both. But it feels like there's certain levels of reflecting taking place that needs to be, I want to say, controlled by you and not letting a spirit take over too much, even if they initiate it, and allowing for yourself to remember the truth that lies within. Now, I also feel like you're being noticed, potentially for some being noticed for how spiritual you truly are, how connected you are to that realm. Could be in regards to how intuitive you truly are. I feel like you could even be noticed for being simply good looking, having good vibes, and just being authentically yourself, or being true to the process of figuring out who that truly is and what you have to offer in this world. But I feel like you have a lot to offer being drawn to this reading, and the day does speak upon that, at least to a certain extent, even if that's more in a private manner. But for some, it's very much being vocalized on a public platform in a public setting kind of way. You know what I mean? Anyways, Spirit wanted me to say I digress, but the Page of Pentacles and the Two of Wands, talking about how for some there's a new financial, a new beginning tied to your finances in one way, shape, or form, or you could be beginning something new and therefore that sparks, highlights your finances somehow. But I feel like you're also being pushed to go back to the basics when it comes to your money, when it comes to how you manage it, how you spend, and how you make it maybe. And I feel like a lot of what's drawn to the reading are going to remember certain key points of your past in regards to that could definitely help you at this point in moving forward. But I feel like you're thinking about having more, thinking about the future of certain situations or one in particular. It's all going to work out, all right? It's all going to work out. It feels like a day where 829 is definitely relevant for you, angel number meaning wise. So look up 829. But I feel like you're maybe finding that you're glowing throughout this day at certain points for whatever reason. Your surroundings, your ability to adapt might be part of that. Your skill set or multiple tying into that or stemming from that. And I feel like you are allowing for yourself to figure it out at certain points. And when you do this productively, selectively, it works to your advantage, all right? It's a day where 904 is also relevant. And I feel like your caring nature, all right, your committed nature is coming into play when it comes to your work, when it comes to a goal, it comes to moving things forward in the right direction for you productively. It feels like you are maybe rediscovering the magic within, all right, however that looks for you. But there's reasons to celebrate. There's reasons to look forward to new connections moving forward and new levels of success. Beautiful. So I hope this is truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy your day, and I'll definitely see you next time.